I can only talk. I would rather only talk in relation to Keroac on that. Ken Kesey and Neil Cassidy came cross country during the '64 election with a vote for Goldwater as a vote for fun sign on the side of the bus, and this was their first pilgrimage to New York as a gang together. And Kesey felt very strong love for Keroac, as well as Burroughs. And so Neil said that he would drive a car out to Northport to get Jack and bring him in to see Kesey and the Merry Pranksters, who were all, at that moment, that evening, high on acid, in an apartment on Park Avenue, which was heavily illuminated with electronic bright lights, cameras going, many tape machines going, wires snaking all over the room, an ethereal scene, actually, with a lot of heavy metal around and a lot of electronics around, so giving a sense of robot re-echoings, robot reduplications and mirror images receding past into infinity. And Neil arrived with Jack, who was brought in from Northport, who was already sick, who didn't want to come out, who didn't want to leave the house, because he knew if he went to the city, he'd be drinking and he'd wind up in pain. Brought Jack in the room, and me also. He sent somebody else downtown to get me from East 2nd Street and bring me up to Park Avenue. So I sat quiet and watched. And everybody was eager to see what Keroac would do in appreciation, or how Keroac would react to this transposition of On the Road into celestial, day-glow, cosmic, electronic environment. Jack was very shy, sat down on the couch, which was covered with American flags, but shyly, and removed the flag and folded it up first. He didn't want to sit on the flag of Joe McCarthy. Is what it boiled down to. But he wasn't sure who everybody was and why they were all there, what they were coming on. So there was an element of bewilderment and confusion in Keroac, but more than that, like a very deep sorrow, realizing that all of these eager beaver pranksters were going through another stage of dumb show, another stage of idealistic nonsense, another attempt to make themselves real, though they were all made of phantom stuff, and they hadn't yet realized it, and in the course of that they were poisoning Cassidy with amphetamine, as Jack was poisoning himself with alcohol. So Jack was down-mouthed, sad, reflective, unresponsive to all their enthusiasm and actually forced electrical gaiety, brittle gaiety. Kesey was sort of like a very, very beautiful, musing angel on the scene, because he was observant and trying to understand where Keroac was. Some of the younger pranksters were mocking of Keroac. What's the matter with him? Why isn't he jumping? Why isn't he enthusiastic? Why isn't he excited? Why isn't he ecstatic? But his ecstasy was in the realization that they were all dead right there on the scene. The scene is still preserved in tape and in film. Though so ecstatic were the pranksters that they probably didn't get any of the film in focus, and it was probably all jarred and jumping. So the visual phenomena might be denied to later generations, but it's all recorded on sound tape and can be, except that they have all the sound tapes jumbled up, and it's never been edited after 10 years already. It still hasn't been edited. So there was that one great meeting lasting that evening, and then Neil drove Jack back out to Northport. But Neil at that point was so jived up with amphetamine that he wasn't really capable of carrying on a heart-tender, mellow conversation with Keroac. He was laying on Keroac the story of the cross-country trip. Keroac was pained, and so because drinking, not able to sit comfortably in the car and was sweating in body. So he wasn't able to attend with complete tenderness to Neil's condition, and they all arrived in this electronic nightmare together.